Hello friends, welcome back. Hey sweet peeps. I just thought I would do a quick video for you guys just to kind of share some of the thoughts inside of my brain or my techniques that I use, or just to give some helpful hints. Earlier I did a project today sharing our February club transfer, and I did it on a surface that was much bigger than the transfer. The transfers run about like 8.5 by 11 kind of size, the B size transfers that you get with the club. So it's definitely was smaller than the surface I was using, and it still looks fabulous. This is an 11 by 14 surface. It's just a plain black canvas, piece of canvas, and it was already came black. So sometimes you might do it on something that's a little bit bigger and you think, oh gosh, it's too empty. That's how I am. I have a problem with negative space for some reason. But I don't like things like cluttered. I like them organized, but I don't like it when there's like a lot of open space. So I guess I would never be able to do the modern or simple approach to decorating. But since it's a little bit bigger, I feel like it needs something more. So I'm going to just kind of take you through my process and tell you. When I was doing the live, I had no idea because I hadn't seen it on the surface, and I'm a very visual person. So I hadn't seen it on the surface at all yet, and really hadn't thought through what else I would do with it. If I had done it, prior, then I probably would have. But so once I finished up with the project, and I had to do a little bit of cleanup because it was on canvas, I got it all clean, and I started thinking, okay, what would I like to do to make this a little more appealing, or have a little bit more oomph? Just make it a little more fabulous. Like I said, it could be just fine, just like this. And a lot of people like the simplicity of that and would go with it. Generally, right now anyway, when I design things, I do it based on my taste. I don't always do it, even though I sell a lot of my items, I don't do it, or I give it away. If I'm giving it away, obviously I kind of know that person, and I would gear how I was creating the project towards the person that I was sending it to. But if I'm doing it to sell, I don't often do it just like what everybody else is doing. I don't do plain, I don't do like neutrals a lot, just because that's not what I enjoy. So there's a place for everything, and every once in a while I'll go outside my comfort zone like I did with that pillow last week and do a more neutral palette. But anyway, today I'm going to add a little more to it. So I could do another project and only use the surface, and it would be just fine, right? So what I do for the process is I look at it and I try to pull out elements, just like when I go to a store, I look and I try to get inspiration from things. I see something, I'm like, oh, that might be cool to try, or oh, that might be neat on a project, or oh, I could take that and do this, that, and the other with it. So I'm really good at taking an idea and going with it. I don't always come up with my own best original ideas, but this one's original, so I didn't even look at anybody else's to get this idea. So what I did was I just looked at this particular project, and I saw the color scheme, obviously, and I said, okay, so I want to work within those same colors. I'm not going to do a contrasting color. I'm not going to go look up a color wheel and say, what's the opposite? I'm not going to do that. I want to keep it still within this same theme and family. So I looked at the colors, and I thought, okay, what do I have on hand? Because I wasn't going to go shopping today. And I felt like I probably, because I have such a large craft supply, mainly from scrapbooking, to be honest with y'all, over the years. Since I have such a large amount of craft supplies, I know I probably have something here. And as long as it's organized and I can find it, then we're in good shape. So I was like, well, I probably maybe somehow want to incorporate some ribbon, but I'm not sure how. So what I did was I actually have sorted my ribbons. I did this a couple weeks ago when I wasn't feeling well. And I took my big basket of ribbons, just hodgepodge of ribbon that was overflowing, and I sorted it. So I tried to do it by color, and then if it didn't fall into a color category, I put it in another. And I'm just using gallons of, baggies. This one is like my multiple colors, like lots of different colors on there. So that was the one I went to first, because I was thinking, oh, we got some cute little flowers up here in the basket. Maybe I could work with flowers. I remembered I had a ribbon that has flowers on it. So that's kind of what I was hunting for, but I couldn't remember exactly the colors. So as you can see, I do have that cute little tiny flower ribbon, but it's got green in it, which would have been fine. I considered using it. But the pink I feel like is just a little too bright for this color. This is more of a berry-ish color. So it's got a little more purple to it. And I felt like this was a little too reddish pink. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's kind of what I did. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's not going to work. Is there anything else in here? No. So I put it aside. So then I'm like, well, whatever else what other colors should I pull out? I don't have a lot of ribbon that would necessarily fall into that berry color. I need to obviously grab some more because it's a gorgeous color and I love it. But I do have a lot of blues. So I pulled out my bag that has all my blue colors in it, and I started looking at that. The reason, what I decided I would do with the ribbon, I'm like, how could I use the ribbon that it would look all right, is I actually just recently, this will help you understand why I chose the ribbon I chose. I just purchased this container of beads, and I went to like 4 or 5 stores looking for beads, guys. I ended up having to get these on Amazon because I just couldn't find them. And I could paint my own beads, but you know, I am time poor like most of us. So it was more cost effective for me to buy this entire container, and it's all these beautiful colors in there, and there's lots of different colors to choose from. But these colors all, I was mainly looking for the eucalyptus and the blue. This little pinky color is kind of a bonus. But I got this for a tassel that I'm going to do on another bag. So I just bought that, and let me just show you this because this is pretty cool. And I've never bought these before. I just kind of went on a rating and a delivery time and then a price. That's how I choose from Amazon for craft supplies. But I do try to get ones that have good ratings. I read the reviews on things. But isn't that kind of cool? It comes with the little top spool of twine. So if you're going to do beads, and I'd be glad to share that information with you if you decide you want it. But I thought, you know what? I knew I was going to pull the blue and the green out of here, but this pink is kind of a bonus, and I feel like it's going to go, even though it's a little more pinky, like I was saying in that one. That was more, there was too much of it. Even though it's a little more pinky than what I have in here, I think it's going to go. And if it doesn't, then I'll just get my chalk paste and I'll paint over top of it to give it a little bit more of that hue. But I knew I said, okay, ribbon, I need ribbon, so I want to try to use some of these beads and incorporate the beads element into it. So that let me know I needed to look for a thinner piece of ribbon. So I went through my ribbons, double checked, and I ended up on this. And honestly, I have no idea where I ever got this. Like I said, I've had most of these kinds of things from scrapbooking days. And obviously this blue is going to go perfectly with this blue. Now, this is a light color bluish gray, but it kind of comes off as white. So I decided I would choose one of the ones that have the white and the blue in it to kind of pull both of those elements. And I just kind of like the look of this one better. It's just a hint of it. And I feel like it's going to be just right as opposed to the baker's twine for this particular look. So that's how I chose my ribbon. And that's my beads. Like I said, I had ordered these beads for the eucalyptus and the blues that are in there that I'm going to be doing on another project. And these just happen to work perfectly with what I'm doing today. Now, the next thing is, okay, I'm like, what other elements? I'm still feeling those flowers because we got these cute little flowers in the basket, right? So I know I have a container of, like I said, from scrapbooking days of fabric flowers. So I just emptied this guy out, pulled him out, started looking at the colors, what colors would go. I actually have some that almost match it perfectly. Makes me so happy. So I looked at the colors, and then I started looking at the shapes and the sizes. Now, in decorating, you want to stay with odd numbers, like 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, whatever. But stay with your odd numbers. So I don't want it to overpower. I just want it to kind of accent. So I'm sticking with 3s on this. And I have, several ones that I pulled out that I played with. Like, okay, I've got this white one because I'm going to do white. I don't have anything that light blue, but I think the white will be it'll still be a good accent. And actually, I may even take some of my chalk paste and go over this to make this kind of that blue color. I may take that and do that. This one, gives me the feels of both of the blues, okay? So I went with this for sure. I decided this one's going to be I usually try to do like different sizes and shapes and textures, because that brings more interest into it. You know, all of these would be great, but they're all about the same size. So do I want to do that? I'm not sure. But I'm thinking about the corner here and then alternating it and putting my beads and my ribbon over here. So this is kind of how my thought process goes and how I pull things out for it. I haven't come up with the final design. I don't think I'm going to use these white because they're too much like this. So I won't use those. I definitely am using one of these. And I'm only going to use one of each color. It's just a matter of whether I decide I'm going to use the larger or the smaller. And these are actually made out of paper. It feels like paper. Whereas these are kind of like the silk. And this almost feels like, I don't even know, paper or silk too. I'm not sure. But it's definitely going to be those three. And I'll probably touch that up with my chalk paste to bring the right color in. I might leave that little pop of yellow in there, and it may show, it may not, just because it's just a little something extra to draw your eye. What's that? That's my thought. That's how my brain works. And I'm not sure whether I use the big or the little. I don't know. I'm going to play around with it a little bit. You guys will get to see the finished product once I post the picture. I will just use my handy dandy glue gun to adhere those. I will thread my beads, and I'll just give you a little kind of pointer and tip there with beads. When you have a piece of ribbon or twine or anything that you're trying to put through a bead, and you can see that's a pretty small opening. I think it tells you probably, I don't know, but it's pretty small. And instead of trying to stress yourself over trying to get it into the hole, put a piece of Scotch tape on the end, just like you would, almost looks like an eyelet, right, for a shoe. Put a piece of Scotch tape on there, and it makes it so much easier. So I'm just going to actually, yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about the order of it. Wait, do the blue first. But just kind of use that to thread it, help you thread it through. And then what I probably will do with that is I will wrap that ribbon around here, and I'll attach it to the back, either with the glue gun, or I'll use my stapler or staple gun if the staple won't go through, to attach that ribbon around here. It'll probably just be on the side, and I won't use any glue. But that's kind of what I'm going to do. That's my plan. So I just thought I'd bring you on the inside and show you a way to take something that you make and just kind of, you know, take it up a notch if you like to have that kind of look. If you have any questions about any of the products that I've used, again, or any thing that I'm doing, or you just need some help or guidance, that's what I'm here for. So reach out and let me know. Okay? Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. I hope this was helpful. See you next time.